video, I'd like to introduce the country Cuba by sharing my travel experience back in 2012 in January. I spent 9 days, drove over 1,500 kilometers from Havana to Santiago de Cuba and to the easternmost point of Cuba. We visited the hometown of our driver Felix and met his parents. Our trip brought him back home after living in for over 10 years. I went with my best travel partner Ryan, who brought up the idea of visiting Cuba. At that time, I didn't even know where Cuba is, so I did a little bit of research online. Cuba is located in the middle of North and South America. Compared to Taiwan, where I was from, Cuba is an island that is 3 times bigger than Taiwan, but Taiwan has twice of the population of Cuba. Winter in Cuba is pleasantly warm in the north and even quite hot in the south, with daytime temperature around 26 degrees Celsius. Cuba is one of the 5 existing communist countries in the world, and the only one is not in Asia. The official language is Spanish. At that time, I didn't speak any Spanish, but Ryan speaks perfect Spanish. The more I researched, the more I found this country fascinating, so I decided to join Ryan's crazy adventure to check out this mysterious country. I flew from Taiwan through Hong Kong to Canada, then to Havana. It took me total 36 hours to Havana after my departure from Taiwan. Ryan also flew from Taiwan, but he arrived 3 days in advance. He arranged a car and found an awesome driver, Felix, to come pick me up at the airport. After we get to our hotel in Havana, we put out a Cuba map and start planning where should we go during these 9 days. Ryan mentioned Santiago de Cuba, and Felix said that his hometown is in Baracoa and he haven't been home for over 10 years. So we was like, let's go there. Felix was really surprised that we were seriously planning to go that far. But he was like, wherever you want to go, I'll take you. So we have a rough plan to go east, and we'll see whatever we can see along the way. Play it by ear, that's our travel style. The first day, we had a little tour in Havana City. We visited the Ernest Hemingway's home and museum. Ernest Hemingway lived and wrote in this house for 10 years. During that time, he wrote 70% of his lifetime work. The house is well maintained and keeps a lot of Hemingway's book and furniture. One thing you need to pay attention to is the Polydactyly, the 6-toed cat that lived in the museum. Ernest Hemingway was given a white 6-toed cat by a ship's captain, and some of the cats that live in the museum now are the descendants of that original cat. It's like they have a little thumb on their hands. It's pretty adorable. Because of the US embargo in 1959, Castro, the famous revolutionary and politician in Cuba, banned the importation of American cars and mechanical parts, which made Cuba become a living museum for classic cars. We saw lots of interesting cars as we drove around the country. It was pretty amazing to see cars that were older than me running on the streets. You can probably only see this in Cuba. In Havana, the most classic and prevalent architectural style you can see are Baroque and Neoclassicism. Baroque like Gran Teatro de la Havana, and Neoclassical like Capital Nacional and Universidad de la Havana. The most unique architectural style in Havana is the post-revolutionary architecture, where you can find revolution heroes' faces on buildings like Plaza de la Revolución. The second day, we drove to Varadero, also referred as Playa Azul, which means Blue Beach. It is a popular beach resort town. It is located on a 1.2 kilometer wide but 20 kilometers long peninsula between the Bay of Cardenas and Strait of Florida. On the straight side, you can do windsurfing, water skiing, and other water sports. On the bay side, the water is super calm, crystal clear, and almost no wave. It's one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen in my life. We spent the night at one of the beach resorts, swimming, relaxing on the beach to see sunset and stars at night. Varadero is a wonderful place to just lay back and enjoy the ocean. Third day, we drove to Santa Clara to visit the Che Guevara Monument and Mausoleum. It houses the remains of the revolutionary Ernesto Che Guevara and 29 of his fellow combatants that killed in 1967. The complexity of the sculpture was really impressive. It was conceived by some famous architects like Jorge Campos, along with other famous sculptors. Besides them, 500,000 Santa Clara residents contribute more than 400,000 hours of volunteer work into the contribution of the sculpture complex. You can really feel the history when seeing this massive monument. After that, we found a restaurant in the city to have lunch. Why I want to mention this restaurant, not just because the food was delicious, but the people in the restaurant were super friendly and hospitable. They were playing salsa music in the restaurant, and the lady, I wasn't sure if she was the staff or the owner, but she started dancing salsa and she invited me to join her. I didn't know how to dance, but she was guiding me and another guest joined as well. In Cuba, salsa is something done in Cubans' free time, also a way of personally expressing oneself. It is an important part of the culture, also a way to enhance relationship and increase social bond with others. It was such a cool experience to encounter with locals by salsa without speaking any Spanish. Here's a video of my clumsy salsa dance. After the meal, we drove to Remedios to spend the night. Remedios is known as the cradle of the Parandas, possibly the Caribbean's largest and the oldest traditional festival. The most iconic building here is the Museo de las Parandas. Since we were leaving to Cayo Santa Maria the next day morning, we only took the picture of the building. This is the first 3 days of our Cuba road trip. In the next video, I will share the following 3 days from Cayo Santa Maria to Santiago de Cuba. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in part 2. Bye!